We're in Sharei Kedusha, OTZROT CHAIM. Today we're not going to spend so much time on Sharei Kedusha, even though it's such an amazing book, because it's not fair. We said Sharei Kedusha, OTZROT CHAIM, and we're not doing even nothing on OTZROT CHAIM. At least the review. So 10 minutes and 10 minutes. Somebody stop me when we're in 10-15 minute point, okay?
10:37?
Yes.
10:47. No.
It's 10:27, John. So we ended up last time in that hayat, we said that the esh, ruach, mayim, afar, fire, water, wind and air, wind and earth, is, we have it in Kedusha, and we have it in Tum'ah. The Tum'ah is what the Gemara says, Arba Avot Nizikin. There are 4 fathers of Nizikim. Right. Shor, the bull, the boar is the pit. The mav'eh, the leg, that means the shore. No, it's not a person. Mav'eh is the when the shore kicks, that means there is the teeth of the shore. When the shore bites something, and when it kicks something, and the hav'eh is the fire. The Gemara then compares the two together. But in general, the shore has 2 kinds of nizikim, damages. So those 4 damages are not coincidental. Those 4 damages are really the 4 marot, the 4 klipot inside your body, which are keneged the esh, ruach, mayim, afar, which your parents gave you, which are keneged the yud kei vav kei inside your body. You have a yud kei vav kei inside your body. That yud kei vav kei is keneged the 4 klipot. Those 4 klipot are connected to 4 nizikim. Now those 4 nizikim, thank you. Those 4 nizikim cause you to do all your averot.
So the wind, fire, and
that fire, water, wind, and earth cause you to do all your averot. Now, depending on which one of those 4 elements are stronger in you, cause you to do in that instant, in that element, each one has their specific averot. For example, person whose fire element is stronger in him, that klipa will be stronger in him, will cause him to be an angry human being. Now, we all have anger. It doesn't mean we all have esh inside of us. Doesn't mean our biggest avera is esh. There are some people that are just angry human beings.
It's more prevalent. How you fix that?
It's more prevalent.
How you fix that?
Whoa! So the fixing them is you have to be you have to actually fire through fire. You gotta fight fire with fire. You gotta use the fire of Kedusha to destroy the fire of the Klipa.
What about channel?
You gotta channel the fire of the Kedusha and destroy the fire of the Klipa, which is what the rabbi always says, restriction. Restriction is the biggest key, but it's a common denominator. Understand? So a person is a Baal Ta'ava. Baal Ta'ava is which of the 4 elements? Water. Ta'ava is the water of the elements. You understand? It's water. So that means he has to stay away from water, from Ta'avot. You understand? That means if a person invites him to a party, he shouldn't go. Him saying no is not a problem for him, but him going there, that's the problem happens. Isn't it? Person who has the klipa of ruach inside of him, he'll have a ba'aya of lashon hara, siha betela. Always he's lupapitni. They say he always wants to know stuff, curious, lashon hara. Those are people they have to stay away from news. They got to stay away from WhatsApp. Everyone knows yada inish benafshe. Yodea tzadik nefesh behemto. Every person knows his neshama, his flaws. Okay. V'hine hanefesh hateora, says the Rabbi Chaim Vital, zuchotei agenanu amen. Shehi pri klula metaryag ivarim v'gidim. It is a child of the 613 limbs and sinews, mitlabeshet toch taryag evarim v'gidin shenefesh hatme'ah. That means there are 613 limbs and sinews of Kedusha, and it clothes itself in the 613 limbs and sinews of Tum'ah. Like we were learning last week, the Tum'ah is just a It's an effect of what your Kedusha looks like. Hanikret klipat apri. So your body is your klipa. Klipa is a peel. You're a peel. Yeah, no, not kli, but klipa. A peel. Okay?
Peel of onion.
Yeah. Ushtehen yachad, and this, I'm telling you guys right now, whoever learns Sharei Kedusha has a strong yesod in Kabbalah. Ushtehen yachad mitlabshot betaryag evarim vegidim shel haguf. Now those 613 of the Kedusha and the Klipa, they both clothe themselves in the 613 limbs and sinews of the body. That means the body is not the Klipa. Exactly. It's just a vessel. That means you have a Klipa, you have a Guf, and you have a Kedusha. That's called Yetzer Hara, Yetzer Hatov, and the Guf. That means, you guys got it? You have a Guf, that's not Yetzer Hara. The closest thing to that Guf is your Yetzer Hara. That's called Taryag Evarim the Klipa. Inside of the Taryag Evarim the Klipa is Taryag Evarim the Kedusha. That is your Yetzer HaTov.
So there are three different entities.
There's going to be a fourth.
Hold on. Rob.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing in three different clothing?
Exactly. There's four Daniels. There's three. So far we learned of three Daniels. There are three Daniels. Okay?
So each one of them has 613?
Each one.
Has its own value.
And they're all a reciprocal effect of what we're going to learn now is your neshama.
Wow. They basically...
And those are the two angels that come with you home on Shabbat.
All three of them equals to the Shabbat.
Equals 613. They all have 613.
But the fourth one will equal to the Shama, no?
No, also it's 613. But that's your neshama. That's your nar nechi. Nefesh, ruach, neshama. That's what we're going to learn. Ushtein yav v'shot v'yevim shel agu. V'nimtzeu, Rabbi Isai, every agu, every nefesh hateora, toch every nefesh hara'ah. The nefesh hara'ah is the clothing, is the goof of the nefesh hatova. So who's at a disadvantage? Who's at a disadvantage?
The bad inclination.
The good inclination is a disadvantage. Because how do I perceive you now?
Wait, you just said that the bad inclination
is the clothing of the good.
Inclination.
How do I perceive you?
It covers it.
How do I perceive you? To the bad.
But still, the fact that it's the clothing isn't...
That's why the good will have the power to overcome the bad.
But it's eternal.
Because it's the internal.
Right.
And now the ra'ah that I'm talking about over here, which is the evil, which I call the Yetzer Hara, which is klipat noga, is inside the goof. That means the goof itself, it's just a klipa. It's just, you understand? That means when Mashiach comes, what's going to happen? This is going to be the ra'ah. The ra'ah is going to be the tov. The tov is going to be the neshama, and the neshama is going to be gavoa ma'al gavoa. You understand?
So
everything goes up one level. That's the difference between kotnot or and kotnot or.
So you're still gonna have ra'ah.
Yes, but the ra'ah that I have right now turns into the tov, and this goof right now will be the ra'ah. Will be the ra'ah. This will be the ra'ah. The ra'ah will be the tov. The tov will be the neshama, and the neshama will be gavoa ma'al gavoa. It's unbelievable. Ve'ine kol achad. Look inside, Rabbi saying. See the words. Ve'ine kol achad mishte nefashot elu tzricha mazon ruchani litkayem. Your nefesh ra'ah and your nefesh hatova both need food. It needs sustenance.
Well, that's one action.
והמזון הרוחני של הנפש הקדושה נמשך עליה על ידי קיום תורה והכלולה מתרי"ג מצוות קיום תרי"ג איברי הנפש גם נקראים לחם. Oh wow, this is one of the bomb sentences. Your nefesh hatova doesn't get food through the food that you're eating.
It's the Torah that you do.
The Torah and the mitzvah that you do give your Yetzer HaTov life. and that's called lechem. Unbelievable. I'm telling you, that sentence is worth the whole CHAIM. The whole CHAIM is worth. Lechem is mazon ruchani. Just as the mazon gufani that you're eating, that's
The first one.
the most internal one. Just as you're eating bread right now, if you're gonna eat the bread without a bracha,
It's useless. To your
you're
body.
just giving the guf koach. What happens to your nefesh, the tova? He has no sustenance from it.
Even
And what
this
happens to
problem.
it? Next time you have a question of avera and the mitzvah, he's not gonna help you. He's not gonna help you because he eno koach shav.
Only you can do to not give any sustenance to the guf is to learn Torah.
The greatest mitzvah you could do that has no physical properties to it is Torah. And tefillah, obviously. כמו שכתוב, Rabbi Isai, לכו, לחמו בלחמי, go fight in my bread. Whose bread?
The Torah.
The Torah, which is your Yetzer HaTov's bread. Go fight in that bread, which is the Torah and the Mitzvot. וכל עבר מן רמ"ח איברים ניזון ממצווה פרטית, I'm about to cry, המתייחסת לאותו עבר. That means every limb that you have has one mitzvah that gives that life sustenance.
Is it daily or is just a one?
Daily.
Daily.
Each day you will have the test to give that limb sustenance. So if you miss Kriyat Shema,
Your shoulder hurts.
I wouldn't say the shoulder, I would say even more, I would say the gulgolet hurts even, I don't know, I'm not the Ariya Kadosh, Chas v'Shalom, but I would say it's a big chunk of your body, the big ever.
People live years without doing anything to benefit themselves.
And do they do mitzvot?
That's what I'm saying.
Do they do mitzvot?
Maybe once every 18 years.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That gives them sustenance for.
They're born with a certain amount of nitzotzot. They will live that nitzotzot, but they will not be able to mizachech.
But the mitzvah is not even done l'shem shamayim. It's done after the.
Who said mitzvot have to be done l'shem shamayim? Halacha rovachat. A person who jumps into a mikveh without ever have a kavanah to jump into a mikveh, he's a taor. But a person who doesn't do mitzvot, if I don't do mitzvot today, it will be harder for me to do mitzvot tomorrow. That's the meaning of Pirkei Avot. Don't say when I'm gonna have free time I'm gonna do it. Shema lo tifne. Maybe you'll never be free. When are you never gonna be free? You have 100 years to live. Your Yetzer HaTov is done for. He already has 13 years disadvantage.
Word.
And you're giving him less disadvantage. Because his life force, see, we're all learning over here Torah right now. We're learning Torah right now. We're giving him advantage right now.
The good part.
Yeah, we're giving him good. I mean, we're going to go home. We're going to have advantage to overcome my Yetzer Hara. But if I go home today and I'm going to let my Yetzer Hara have advantage over my Yetzer HaTov, which is Gava. I learned Arbe Torah Hayom. Then I'm counterintuitive. I'm not gonna do mitzvot tonight. I'm gonna do avirot tonight. Okay? That's why Torah is called bread. V'kol ever min ramach evarim nizon mitzvah pratim midyaches l'oto ever. Every mitzvah has its own limb. V'kasher yechsar la'adam kiyum eze mitzvah. When a human being is void of one mitzvah, gama ever haprati mityaches la mitzvah yechsar mimenu mizono. That limb will not have its sustenance, and therefore that limb will deteriorate. So if you have a pain in one part of your body, it's because you're missing that mitzvah mityacheset lo'oto ever.
So how do you know which one is what?
Yeah.
I don't know. Only the Ariya Kadosh knows such a
But he has a
thing.
book.
Do all of it.
But it says it. Wait, is there a
Do
book?
all of them. I don't know.
No. Is there a
No,
book?
we only know one thing. The Ariya says that if a person has shoulder pain, he shouldn't speak between my
thing we
maharoni.
know?
That's the only thing we know.
How about shit?
You have to understand, it was only a year and 8 months that the whole CHAIM came out of. A year and 8 months.
Imagine if it was like 2 years.
Year and 8 months, I'm telling you.
I know, but imagine if it was 2 years.
Imagine it was 2 years. The Rav Chaim Vital said if he would have lived for another 2 years, it would have been Geula. It That's what our Chaim says. Shin Lamed Hey. If you would have looked till the year Shin Lamed Hey, he passed a Shin Lamed Bet. Yeah, he said Rav Chaim said the Ari Hakadosh. It's Sefer HaChezionot. וגם העבר הפרטי, that limb, מתייחס למצווה, יחסר ממנו מזונו, הנמשך לו המארבע יובע. And that limb, where does it באמת get his mazon? Where does it get it? From ארבע אותיות שם הוויה, יוד, K, Vav, K. That means you have Yud, K, Vav, K inside of you. That's your neshama. Elokai neshama, shenatat habit ora. That's the Yud, K, Vav, K inside of you. Understand? If you're now the Yud K Vav K will not give to your Yetzer Hara at all if you miss the opportunity to do the mitzvah. Scary stuff. Kamo shekatuv, as the pasuk says, V'ata mechaye et kulam. You Hashem give life to everyone. Think about it for a second, Rabbi Say. People in the Holocaust, in the greatest destruction, the greatest death, how did they stay alive? The Havaya inside of them was giving them sustenance, was giving them koach. No possible human being could live such through. I was reading a story about the Kloisenberger Rebbe. He passed his your side. It was a week ago. When he was in Auschwitz, the Kloisenberger Rebbe, he said he wouldn't eat non-kosher food. They gave him non-kosher food to eat. He didn't eat. He said, Hashem, you gave me life outside the death camp. You're going to give me life here. Suddenly some person came to him, gave him marmalade. You know marmalade?
Yeah.
With bread. You know what was marmalade in the death camps?
That's the gold right there.
Gold? That was like winning the lottery. He said, Hashem, you gave me marmalade in the death camp. You're going to give me life throughout the whole death camp. That gave him power the whole time in Auschwitz to stay alive. He came out, 11 kids dead, his wife dead. He got remarried. He made the greatest Hasidut in Netanya. The greatest hospital, Kloisenberger, Tzanz, the Tzanz Hasidim. He made it. Rav Asher Weiss, the Pesach Kador, is his student. Could you imagine 11 kids burnt, his wife, and he from Marmalada? Unbelievable. Shalom and Dav. You guys understand what is the Koach of Shem Havaya inside of us? And we have Shem Havaya. And the mohel, just to give you a little side thing, the mohel is the one that finishes the job. How important it is to have the good sandak, the good mohel, the good do metzitza bapeh. Everything should be done the right way during the whole process. You should go to the mikveh. Very important. He gives koach to the whole child's life. ובהם תולים כל המצוות כמו שאומרים ז"ל, י' K עם שמי שסע. If you put י' K with my name, it's going to be Shesa. Vav K im Zichri. Ramach. If you put Vav K with the word Zichri, it's going to be Ramach. So we see over here, you have the word Shesa. Shin Samech Shemi. You have the word Shemi. Shin. Mem. Yud. My name. You put Yud K of Havaya with Shemi, you're going to get what? 365. You put Vav K with Zichri, you're going to get Ramach. Ramach and Shasa, what do you get? Taryag Mitzvot. And we learned in the Kabbalah, in the Ari Kadosh, in the Rashash, that the partsuf of Ze'er and Pin, which is HaKadosh Baruch Hu's midot from Chesed until Yesod, has 613 pathways in his Rosh. And the Rosh of Zah has 613 pathways. That's why Rosh of Zah, Ze'er and Pin. Zah is the kochot, the levushim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. From Chesed, there's 10 sefirot. From Chesed until Yesod, we call it Zah, Ze'er and Pin. Okay? Ze'er and Pin has 613 pathways. Those 613 pathways are 613 mitzvot. Now, cry for this. You have to cry tonight at 1 o'clock. We have 60 mitzvot left of the 248 mitzvot. The Rambam says. Isn't that something to cry for? We cannot tap into the rest of the mitzvot. Isn't that something to cry for? Now you understand how come we don't have Ruach HaKodesh? How come we don't have Nevi'ut? Huh? 248 aseh, Shesa lo ta'aseh. From the 248 aseh, that's where your Ruach HaKodesh comes from. We only have 60 left that we could do today.
No Beit HaMikdash, no Kohen.
There's 248 aseh. From those 248 aseh, only the aseh, we only have 60, the Rambam says, that are applicable to today. The Shesa is also a very small amount together. But from the Shesa doesn't give you Ruach HaKodesh. What gives you Ruach HaKodesh? The Aseh gives you Ruach HaKodesh. That's why I tell you guys, let's do rare mitzvot. Let's do rare mitzvot. When are we going to do that donkey already? When are we going to do that? We're going to do it. Where? No, he's going to let us? Ask him, please.
I have pigeons in my balcony, Rabbi.
Pigeons? You're not. The Shiloh Haken. Now, let's guys, Rabbi Sai, you guys told me you're going to wake me up in 10 minutes.
I tapped.
Tapping, I don't understand.
It was so good.
OTZROT Chaim. We said Ein Sof Baruch Hu was
Finish it.
We finished the paragraph.
Okay.
The Ein Sof Baruch Hu Memale Kol Almin. Memale Kol Halal. There's no halal. There's only Ein Sof Baruch Hu. And the Ein Sof Baruch Hu decided to create the world, so he made a halal. Empty space. Everything that you see, all the galaxiot, all the Yitzira, Bria, Atzilut, Tihiru, everything is inside this halal. This is called the midpoint. Why is it called the midpoint? This is the midpoint between infinite and finite. That's the midpoint. Between the infinite and the finite. In this midpoint, Maher, we have Eser Sfirot. What came first, Igulim or Yosher? The circle, Igulim. We have 10 Igulim. Keter, Chokhmah, v'chule, v'chule, v'chule. 10 Igulim. Those are the 10 Igulim of Ak. Adam Kadmon. Yes or no?
Yes.
You're with me. Yafeh. This 10 Igulim, by Igulim we have a rule. What's more Kadosh by Igulim? What's more holy? The inner or the outer?
Inner.
By Igulim, the outer.
Infinite, man.
By the Yosher, it's just the opposite.
Infinite.
The Yosher, whatever is more inside,
Is more
Kadosh.
The cup.
Exactly. By Igulim, it's whatever is more outside. That's why you have an apple, the peel tastes good. Right? Even the klipa of the Igulim tastes good. You understand? So the Igulim, now the Igulim are called Nefesh, the Klalut HaOlamot. Nefesh. Nefesh. They're the Nefesh of Klalut HaOlamot. You're with me, guys? What's Nefesh? We have Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechida. What's the lowest part? Nefesh. The Igulim are Nefesh. What fixes the Nefesh? What's after Nefesh? Ruach. After we have the Sfirot, the Igulim, the Yosher comes down to fix it from the Kav. Okay? Fixes down. It comes almost till the end. How come it doesn't go till the end?
Because then it starts from the beginning.
Then it comes from the beginning. Then there's no beginning and end. If it goes all the way to the end, there's no Rosh Toch Sof. Therefore, you have to have it stop almost to the end. I'm not going to get into the... there's a big machloket. Does it get into Malchut Atik of Igulim or to the Atik, the Ak? What does it matter? There's no difference to us right now in the class now. Right? So the Yosher is Ruach, the Klaluta Olamot.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, Shimon Agassi. I'm telling you simple stuff. I didn't teach you guys this when I first taught you. So Igulim and Yosher are what? Nefesh veruach, the Klalut HaOlamot. What are we? Are we human beings? Are we Igulim or Yosher?
Both.
Look at me. Are we Igulim or Yosher? We're Yosher.
Women are
The planets are Igulim or Yosher?
Igulim.
Planets.
Igulim, no?
The Rakia. Rakia is Igulim. They're all Igulim.
The women
We are fixing the planet. We're fixing it. You understand? We're not destroying it. We're fixing it. Okay? You understand that? Do you understand that point?
Okay.
We're not destroyers. We're fixers. Who are the fixers? You and me who keep Torah and Mitzvot. Okay? This Igulim and Yosher come in five worlds. We have Ak, Atzilut, Bria, Yitzira, Asiya. In short, Abia. Really, Abia is Atzilut, Bria, Yitzira, Asiya. Really, it's supposed to be Ak Abia, right? We don't like to talk about Ak. We don't like to talk about it because we're Katsarei Koma. Okay? You know, back in the day when they used to talk about Ak, I read stories of tzaddikim, they used to cry on the floor. Today, it's like a regular word. Understand? So we have Ak and Abia. What's the difference between Ak and Atzilut and Bia? There's a main difference between them. Ak and Atzilut and Bia. There's
Physical,
a main difference.
fully spiritual.
No, Bia is also spiritual. Yitzira is also spiritual. Asiya, only Malchut Asiya is physical. What? There's a breakage in all worlds.
At the world of potential.
Huh?
Potential.
No. Ak and Atzilut are called Olamot HaYichud. You could comprehend God over there wherever you are. In Bia, you already have a separation. You see yourself as something separate from Hashem. In reality, we're all part of Hashem. In reality, we're all Hashem. We're inside Hashem. Hashem is Mekomo shel ha'olam. We're not the Makom shel Hashem. Right? That's the Kavanah. Where did he run away? Kavanah that he just learned. There's a Kavanah of Makom. 10 times Yud, 5 times Hey, 6 times Vav, 5 times Hey is Gematria Makom. Yud K Vav K in Ribua. Ribua means when you multiply. It means I take Yud K Vav K. And I take 10 Yud is 10, right? So 10 times 10. Hey is 5. 5 times 5. Vav is 6. 6 times 6. Hey is what? 5 times 5?
Square.
I get Makom.
Square.
The place. That's one of the kavanot you have to have in Akedat Yitzhak when you read it in the morning. It's it's right in the book of any regular book, Sharei.
So what kavanah need to happen there?
You have to have kavanah that Hakadosh Baruch Hu is we're inside Hashem. True. Not that Hashem is inside of our world. Not that He fills us. We're filling Him. Kiviyachol. Okay. I say kiviyachol because you guys have to understand that in the right erech. Okay? So Ak and Atzilut is Olamot HaYichud. There is no differentiation. When we want to comprehend Galut, what do we say? Atzilut goes down to Bia. Why? Once Malchut of Atzilut goes down to Bia, that's called Galut. Because it separated himself from the Yichud. Now I feel like I'm something else from Hashem. Like I'm one and He's one.
So we're disconnecting.
Like as if, yeah. If you want to go to the level of Kedusha, I have to bring Bia up to Atzilut. That's our job. I mean, this Galut of 1,952 years, I got to bring these guys up to Atzilut. Mashiach's job is to teach us how to get Atzilut back up to Ak. Understand? That's why people who are learning Kabbalah right now, they're going to have an easy time when Mashiach comes. That's what the Ovadia Hadaya says in his book, De'ava Askin. Because we're going to learn how to bring Atzilut back to Ak. The guys who never learned, they're going to still have to learn how to bring a Bia back to Atzilut. You guys like that, right?
You're at an advantage.
It's unbelievable. That's what the Avaska, the Ovadia Hadaya says this in the Avaska.
We're doing our prerequisites.
We're doing our prerequisites, okay? So basically, you have Nefesh Veruach, you have Igulim and Yosher. Remember, we have Ak, we have Atzilut, we have Bria, we have Yitzhak. Now, let's not talk about Atzilut, let's talk about Ak. In Ak, we're not allowed to talk about vessels. It's such a high olam, we're not allowed to talk about vessels. The vessels there are so ruchani. The vessels there are so ruchani, they're so spiritual. It's as if I don't see a vessel. As if, but there is. It's as if I don't see it though.
Ultraviolet lights.
In Ak, I have. Where I could start talking about him, when I start talking about him, I start talking from the Ozen. How many Ozens I have? 2. I have 2 Ozens, not because I am just a reciprocal effect of what's going on in Ak. Understand? That means Ak's Koach comes down to Atzilut, suddenly I have my Ozen. Understand? Not that he has it because I have it. I have it because that's what it looks like up there, Kiviyochol. Okay? This Ozen is the first time I could talk about 2 separate orot. That means even in the Enayim of Ak, I can't even talk about it. Impossible. Okay? That's called Chayad Ak. But in Ozen of Ak, I could already start to talk about. Why? Because the Enayim are close to one another. The Ozen are far from one another. So when they meet, where are they going to meet? The Shibor HaZakan. You guys remember that? That you guys remember. Shibor HaZakan. It's going to cause what we call Shorshei HaKelim.
No, stop.
We stop way farther than that. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen v'amen. V'yiten lecha Elohim.